Okay, Danielle, I've got your second submission up for the work. Let's start with the portfolio design. I'm sorry, the publication design. We have the front and the back cover, and the one thing I said in the first video was that I couldn't figure out which was the front cover, and the reason why that is, Danielle, is because typically in a this type of a which looks like a program guide, you wouldn't have all this advertising on the front. You would say that for the back. So what I would like you to do is take all this advertising, move it over to the back. What I would do is I would just take each of these advertisers. I would take this image, move it up just a little bit, and then just place your advertisers in an area where you're not really interfering with the actual image itself, and try to fit all of your advertising in an area where it's all presented in the same area. So in other words, it's not spread out over the page like randomly, kind of like this is. Okay, I hope that makes sense. That way you can have this welcome to Cleveland, welcome to an adventure back in time Cleveland in the 20s, and you can move that whole composition there right down to about there. And if you want to, you can move the image in the background down so you can still see the Hotel California, the Hotel Cleveland. But that's my suggestion for the cover. I think that would really make it obvious which is the front cover, which is the back cover. I think that this typeface right here, I would recommend not using this typeface for your headlines. It's okay for it's a decorative typeface, so it's difficult to read. So that means it's okay to use for the heads for your advertising. That's just fine. But I would change that headline for the body copy. It's just really difficult to read. The next thing I would suggest is giving yourself a little bit of room between the headline and where the body copy starts. You may even consider a drop cap, just so the viewer knows where to start. So in other words, the viewer would know this is the head, this is where you start. There would be no drop cap here, so obviously that would be a continuation of this story. Okay, then the next page where there's another new section, for instance, that would start as a drop cap. A new section, there are no more new sections. So yeah, I think it would be a good idea to develop the hierarchy a little bit so that the viewer knows this is the page and this is where I start. As far as the advertising side, I would say that something like this right here is kind of throwing off the mechanics of this page because you're breaking the margins. I would take that composition right there and fit it right in there. Somehow, right now it looks like you had a little bit of area here and you forced this in here and kind of assembled it to fit in here, but it's breaking the side margins, which means it's breaking the grid, which means it's causing an uncomfortable visual tension. Right down here, I'm going to Command R this so we can bring some guides out, but if that's your baseline, try to use that for alignment, okay? So in other words, your alignment's going to be right there, which is good there, but that's out of alignment. So you want to keep consistent margins all the way around your page. Let's go down to the next page. Same thing here with the same comment here with that looking like it's forced in there, breaking the margin grid. Same comments here. I can say the same thing about your baseline here where you're kind of a little bit out of alignment there. I think this is too close to the top of the page. I think you need a little bit of white space between the top of the page and where your type starts on each one of these pages. So for example, there's no headline to fit in there, so you see where that headline is. I would give the headline more area, start the text down a little bit further, and then do the same thing right there. There's no headline, so it'll just until bringing the text down. And you know what? Here's your guideline right here. There's a for alignment on this page, that would be your guideline. Okay. I think your type is good. I really do. I think that your typeset is pretty good for justified typesettings. However, you do have some areas that need to be adjusted. For example, take a look at that wide space there, and there. And that is indicative of justified type. So if you get in there and adjust those settings, you should be good there. If you have any questions on how to adjust those settings, let me know and I can give you some suggestions. But generally, I think your typeset is pretty good for justified. You don't have too many white rivers flowing through your type, so that's good. Looking at typography, I don't see any widows or orphans on this page, so that's good. I do not see any widows. That page is good. That page is good. This page has a widow right there. You'll want to definitely adjust that. Okay, now, boy, shouldn't this be the first fold? Shouldn't that page right there be on the inside of this somewhere where you open up the front cover of the program and you can immediately see the schedule? That makes sense to me. I don't know if these are set in, if these spreads are set in like chronological order, so to speak, but that right there seems to me like it should be towards the front. This, of course, yes, towards the back, and maybe even the last page. Thank you to our donors, but the program contents and time, this should definitely be towards the front of the publication. Digital graphics. All right, I talked about this before, Danielle. This is really confusing because here you've done this image, right? You've done black and white, done a color adjustment layer, turned this into black and white, left the flowers in color, and you've done a beautiful job. But I don't know what this has to do with it. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, just the idea here is just to show what you've done with this digital imaging. So, I don't know if this is I don't know why this is here, I guess is what I'm saying. I would just, for this particular part of the portfolio, I would just show the before and after because it's gonna remove a few layers of confusion. Okay, and then the same thing with this is, again, a little more confusion here. Like this page really just has me. I don't know what I'm looking at. It says digital graphics design, but you have an image with this laid over it, and then you have the type down here. So what is this? Is it a magazine ad? Are you featuring your typographic design here? Are you featuring the ad? I really need to know what this is. I said that in the first video as well. So that's, it's a beautiful piece. The typography is wonderful. I would just like to know what it is. Okay, this is good. I think this is the same work. We've already talked about this. And so if you're rephotographing that, that's great because I do believe I remember the other photo. Yeah, good. So excellent. So you've considered rephotographing that. Is this the solution? I think photographing those like that is fine. However, in the actual portfolio itself, what I would do is I would show these, like on one page I would show the labels, 1, 2, 3, 4 labels, and then the next page I would show a group shot. So in other words, you can put all those bottles together like they were in the first one, but just watch that background. This background here is great. I know whatever you did here, this is phenomenal. Wonderful. Good job. So let's get all the 4 bottles together. Now, is there a carrier for this? I don't remember if there's a carrier for this, but if not, you might definitely consider designing a carrier. Okay, so that's it. I mean, we'll still work on this. So I don't know, when you make your adjustments, turn it in, and I'll look at it and we'll comment, and we'll take a look at the other portions when you, let me see where that is. Let's see, Danielle. I thought they forgot revisions, assessment, give a better objectives to piece of my portfolio. I want to get the art up so you guys could get some feedback before the assignment was due. So. Oh wait, that's that one. I want this one. This attaches as thread to revise PDF, everything minus the website. I figured I would get to you when I had it uploaded. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, let me get the website when you can, and that's cool. I'm fine with that. And you know what you were doing, just keep on submitting. And if you're working on a piece and you want some immediate feedback, just let me know, and I'll be glad to just submit it. And I'll be glad to give you some feedback. Okay, I want to cut it short here because I'm trying to keep this rather brief. But if you have any questions at all, please feel free to give me a comment. Okay, thank you.